Hi boys and girls, Mrs. Moore asked me to help her with your Flowers for Mary project. So I'm going to show two different videos. The first video is how to make a three-dimensional flower from paper and things you have at home. And then the second video will be how to draw and paint or color the flowers if you would prefer to do it that way. This is also your art assignment for this week, so while you're adding it to her Google Classroom, please put it in for your art Google Classroom so that way I can see the awesome work that you guys put together. Okay, so let's talk about the 3D flowers. For this, you could use colored construction paper, or you can use recycled materials like newspaper or magazines. So if you have any newspaper or magazines and you want to cut the pages from that to make it into a flower, it can make a pretty cool effect. So when I talk about a magazine, I'm just going to take a page from this art magazine that I have, and I could use this to do my paper flowers. Okay, so the first kind of paper flower is a lily, and what you're going to do for that is trace your hand on a piece of paper and cut it out. So that's what I did already on my yellow piece of paper. But again, if you wanted to, you could trace your hand on a magazine or newspaper and cut it out that way too. Then this way you're kind of also making a recycled project. Okay, so then I'm going to take my handprint and I'm going to roll it to like a cone shape so it makes a point at the bottom. So I'm going to take it, and as I roll, it will start to make a cone shape at the bottom, okay? And then I'm going to tape or glue or tape this part closed. So if you don't have glue at home and you prefer to just tape it closed, you could do that. I would do a clear tape because you're going to be able to see it. If you're gluing and you're using liquid glue like I just did, or even a glue stick, because we know that glue sticks sometimes don't stick very well, it's good to like count down for a little bit and hold it. Okay. After we make sure that that's stuck together, we're going to make the curly part of the lily with the fingers of our hand that we just have right here. And we're also going to make like a little center, and I'll talk about the stem because we can use a lot of different things for the stem as well. So the curly part is that we're going to curl all these fingers down. You can use your own finger to curl it like I just did, but it doesn't make as good of a tight curl as if I use like a pencil or a pen to do that. So I'm going to angle my camera down so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm going to take my pencil or pen and I'm going to roll it really nice and tight with that finger. Now it's going to make like a curl on that one. Take this one, do the same thing. Roll it down, another curl. I'm going to have to fix the glue part because I didn't hold it long enough, and see what that happens when I don't hold it long enough is that it's going to open up. And all the fingers. Okay, now that those are curly, once I put it back where it was supposed to be in that cone shape like this, now it's going to look more like a flower, which is what we wanted. Like that. Okay. I am going to use tape to keep mine closed since the glue is not holding. So a piece of clear tape at the bottom will help this cone shape stay, and then the glue can dry. And I could always take that off later if I don't like the way it looks. Now I notice that this finger I kind of want to be bent the other direction, so I'm going to kind of fix that. If you don't use a pencil or your finger, if you want to curl it another way, you could just really tightly wind this down. Hold it for a few seconds and then let it go. Now that's going to make a little bit of a better curl than what I just had actually. So if I need to fix any of them, I can do that right now. Okay, so the center of a lily is where the seeds would be in a flower. So I'm going to add that in the little middle part here, and I'm going to do that with a piece of paper. But you could use a pipe cleaner. So if you have colored pipe cleaners, you could take a yellow pipe cleaner and put it through the center of the flower, or a different color. It could be orange, pink, whatever. And this could also then be your stem, right? And I could add a leaf to that with paper. So that's one way you could do this. Another way you could do this is to cut a little piece of different colored paper as your center. For the little change in my flower, I'm going to just glue that in there. So add some glue, and then I have a little center in there to make it a little bit different. Now I'm going to make a stem from paper instead of from pipe cleaner, in case you don't have this. You could also use a straw. You could also use a pencil as your stem. Okay, so I'm going to just roll the paper really nice and tight and close together. I'm paying really close attention to make sure I don't roll going in the wrong direction. Once I feel like I have a pretty good sized stem, I can cut off the rest of the paper. I don't need to keep using all of this, so I'm going to cut some of that. I'm going to use that for leaves. And now I can tape that closed, or I could glue it closed. Right now, for the sake of time, because you guys need to see all the steps, I'm going to just quickly tape this down. But again, if you want to glue it and hold it for a little bit, you could do that. Or if you have a hot glue gun and you're able to use that at home, that would actually work the quickest to hold it together glue-wise. Okay, so if I want this to be my stem, then I would just have to attach the flower to that. And now I actually am thinking this is a little bit too big. Okay, so then those get attached together. I can add a couple things. So we're going to add a little bit of green at the top here, because when you see a flower and they first open and bloom, they have like these right on the side to make my flower look a little bit more realistic. I'm going to fold this down or roll it down so that way it also has like a curly effect to it. And I'm going to do one more on the other side. Tape it down real quick and then roll it like this. And now I have a flower. And then if I still wanted to add leaves to this, I could. Okay, so there's the lily flower that we did with paper. Again, recycled materials or construction paper. Same thing we're going to do with if we're making a rose flower. The rose is going to start with a spiral. It can be cut from pink or blue or green or whatever color you want your flower to be, or you can do it on recycled paper. So really quick, I'm going to show you what I'm drawing. And if you can see, it's a spiral circle, right? So first I'm going to cut out the circle. The bigger you make it, the bigger your flower is going to end up. The smaller you make it, the smaller your flower is going to end up. Also, if you make it really small, it's going to be difficult to make the flower. Okay, once that's done, now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut along the actual spiral line that I made. So I'm cutting on my spiral line. Which is what I already did here. So after the spiral is done, it ends here like this, okay? Now we're going to roll this into a paper flower. So I'm going to start here at the end, and I'm going to roll the paper together. So as you can see, I'm just really slowly using my fingers, and I'm rolling all of the paper together. Nice, and keep it really close together right now, because we can open it up later, which will make it look more like a flower. Just for now, we kind of want to keep it close together because it's going to naturally open up on by itself. I can put mine back together. Okay. Anyway, so you're going to keep rolling as I go along my spiral. And as you can see, it's kind of starting to form what would look like a rose or flower shape already. If I let go, that's okay. I just go back and kind of get that back together. Keep going, keep going. So once you get to the end of the flower, now I kind of can loosen it up a little bit. And there's this end of our spiral. That's like where the flower all holds together and stays together. So I would take some glue or tape here and attach it to the bottom of the flower. So I'm attaching those to the inside of the flower to that. And then if I need to glue some more areas, I can glue around. And then this will make like a rose shaped flower. Again, the glue is going to make it hold better, but you're going to have to count and hold it down so that way it stays. If you just let it go, it's not going to stay very good. Okay, so here's my rose flower. And then again, same thing like I did last time. I'm going to attach a stem to it, and I would attach my leaves or petal, any more petals or anything like that to the sides. So if I'm rolling the paper again, and the reason why we roll it is to make it nice and strong so I can hold up all that paper flower. And then I could attach the rose this way to my flower and add leaves. Okay, so those are two examples of three-dimensional flowers, and I've done them with magazines before for recycling projects for Earth Day last week with some of the younger grades like first grade. That is one way to make a flower for this Mary project, but there are other ways like drawing and painting. So if you decide that you do not want to do a three-dimensional piece with recycled materials, then you can join the next video and see how to make a flower from